December 1944. Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. The transport train carrying German prisoners of war crosses the American South under a pale winter sun. Inside one of the carriages, 23 women sit in silence. Most wear torn uniforms. Some still have blood on their sleeves. Helga Bauer, 23 years old, radio operator for the Luftwaffe, stares through the window at endless fields of cotton. She weighs 38 kilograms. For 3 weeks, Helga has traveled through holding camps, ships, military trucks. She has eaten almost nothing. Her cheekbones cut sharp angles against her skin. Her hands shake constantly. The uniform that once fit her now hangs loose, the fabric worn thin at the elbows. She does not speak to the other women. She does not have the strength. When the train stops, American soldiers open the doors. The women descend slowly, holding on to each other. Some cannot walk without support. Helga steps onto Louisiana soil and feels the humid air press against her face. It smells different here, not like smoke, not like rubble. It smells like earth and grass. They are led through gates into the camp. Helga expects barbed wire, guard towers with machine guns, dogs. She sees wooden barracks painted white. She sees electric lights. She sees American guards standing with rifles, but not aiming. One of them is a woman. Helga has never seen a female soldier before. Inside the dining hall, rows of tables wait. The women are told to sit. Helga sits. She does not understand why the chairs have cushions. A moment later, American kitchen staff begin placing bowls in front of each prisoner. Helga looks down. Thick soup with chunks of meat, real meat. Beside the bowl, a plate with 2 slices of white bread, not black bread. Not the dense and bitter loaves mixed with sawdust that she has eaten for 2 years. White bread, soft, with butter melting on top. Next to the bread, a glass of milk. Helga stares at the glass. She has not seen milk in 3 years. In Hamburg, children waited in lines for hours to receive a single cup of thin, watered-down liquid that barely resembled milk. This glass is full. The milk is white, pure white. She picks up the spoon. Her hand trembles so badly that the spoon clatters against the bowl. The woman sitting beside her, a nurse from Berlin, begins to cry, not from sadness, from confusion, from disbelief. "This is propaganda," Helga whispers. "They want us to think America is rich. This cannot be real." But the smell is real. The steam rising from the soup is real. She lifts the spoon to her mouth. The taste floods her senses. Salt, fat, protein. Her body reacts before her mind can process. She swallows, then another spoonful, then another. Her stomach, shrunken and weak, tightens painfully. She forces herself to slow down. Across the hall, an American guard sits at a separate table eating the same meal, the exact same meal. Helga watches him tear his bread and dip it into his soup without ceremony. He does not treat it like a luxury. He treats it like ordinary food. That night, lying on a cot with a mattress and under a wool blanket, in a room with electric heating, Helga Bauer closes her eyes and asks herself one question she cannot answer. Why are my enemies feeding me better than my own country ever did? 18 months earlier, June 1943. Northern France, near Calais. Helga Bauer sits inside a concrete bunker wearing headphones, transcribing coded messages from Luftwaffe pilots over the English Channel. Outside, the Atlantic wind howls against reinforced walls. Inside, the air smells like diesel fuel and sweat. She has been stationed here for 11 months. Her daily ration arrives at noon. 150 grams of black bread, dense as stone. A bowl of turnip soup with no meat. Only grey water flavored with vegetable scraps. 2 small potatoes. A spoonful of margarine that tastes like petroleum. She eats slowly, making each bite last, knowing this is all she will receive until tomorrow. Before the war, Helga lived in Hamburg with her mother and younger brother. Her father died in 1941 on the Eastern Front. She remembers Sunday dinners with roasted chicken, butter cakes, fresh milk. She remembers her mother baking bread that filled their apartment with warmth. Those memories feel like another lifetime, another world. By 1943, Hamburg is burning. British bombers arrive every week, turning entire neighborhoods into ash. Helga receives letters from her mother describing the queues for food, 3 hours to buy bread, 4 hours for a single egg, children digging through rubble searching for potatoes. Her brother, 15 years old, weighs 42 kilograms. His ribs show through his shirt. The radio operators receive slightly better rations than civilians because they are essential military personnel. But slightly better means nothing when the entire nation is starving. Helga has not eaten meat in 7 months. She has not seen an orange in 3 years. Her gums bleed when she brushes her teeth. Her hair falls out in clumps. In the barracks, the women listen to propaganda broadcasts every evening. The speaker's voice crackles through static, confident and strong. He tells them that Germany is winning. He tells them that Americans are weak, decadent, morally corrupt. He says American soldiers are poorly trained and poorly fed. He says their economy is collapsing. He says they cannot sustain their war effort. Helga believes him. She has to believe him. If Germany is not winning, then her father died for nothing. If Americans are not weak, then why is she sitting in this bunker eating turnip water while her family starves in Hamburg? The propaganda must be true. It has to be true. The officers tell them that Americans eat from tin cans because they have no fresh food. They say American cities are filled with unemployment and poverty. They say that when Germany wins, food will return. Abundance will return. They just need to hold on a little longer, but the rations keep shrinking. The bread becomes darker, mixed with more sawdust and wood pulp. The margarine disappears entirely. Some weeks they receive only potatoes and cabbage. Helga's uniform, tailored when she first enlisted, now hangs loose around her shoulders. In August 1944, the Allies land in Normandy. The radio station receives orders to evacuate. Helga and 19 other women are captured by American forces near Cherbourg. They are transported to England, then loaded onto a ship crossing the Atlantic. During the voyage, Helga expects to arrive in a broken country, a nation struggling with famine just like Germany, a nation where her captors will look as hungry as she does. She has no idea what is waiting for her on the other side of the ocean. The morning after her first meal, Helga wakes to the sound of a bell. Not an alarm, not shouting. A simple bell ringing across the camp. Sunlight streams through clean windows. She sits up on the cot and notices something impossible. The mattress is soft. In 3 years of military service, she has slept on wooden planks, concrete floors, straw pallets. Never a real mattress. An American guard, a woman in her 30s with red hair, enters the barracks. She speaks in English, then in broken German. Breakfast in 20 minutes. Showers available now. Showers. Helga follows the other women down a hallway. They enter a tiled room with multiple shower heads. Hot water pours from the ceiling. Actual hot water. Steam fills the space. One of the women, a telephone operator from Munich, stands under the water fully clothed, crying. She has not felt hot water in 2 years. Helga undresses slowly. Her body is skeletal, every bone visible. She steps under the water and gasps. The heat burns against her frozen skin. There is soap, real soap that smells like flowers, not the caustic lye blocks they used in France. She washes her hair for the first time in months. The water at her feet turns dark with dirt. After 20 minutes, the guard knocks on the door. Time to eat. Helga dresses in a clean uniform provided by the camp. It is too large, but it is clean. No lice, no bloodstains, no holes. In the dining hall, breakfast waits. Scrambled eggs, bacon, toast with jam, a bowl of oatmeal with sugar, coffee, real coffee, not the bitter acorn substitute they drank in Germany. Helga sits down, staring at the plate. This is more food than she ate in an entire week at the radio station. She looks around the hall. 50 German women, all eating in stunned silence. Some eat quickly, desperately, as if the food will vanish. Others eat slowly, afraid it is a trick. Helga cuts a small piece of bacon and places it in her mouth. The salt and fat explode across her tongue. She closes her eyes. How is this possible? The guard from earlier sits at a side table eating the same breakfast. She reads a newspaper while drinking coffee. She does not watch the prisoners with suspicion. She does not guard the food. She simply eats, as if this abundance is normal. After breakfast, the women are shown their barracks. Each woman receives a bed, a small locker, 2 blankets, a pillow. The room has electric lights. A heater in the corner keeps the air warm. There are windows with glass that is not broken. Outside, Helga sees grass, trees, no bomb craters. No rubble. In the bathroom there is running water, a flush toilet, mirrors, towels. Everything functions. Everything is clean. Helga stands in front of the mirror and barely recognizes herself. Her face is hollow, her eyes are too large, her skin is grey. But she is standing in a room with heated water, electric lights, and toilet paper. Toilet paper. In Hamburg, her mother uses newspaper. That afternoon, another woman approaches Helga. Her name is Anneliese. She was a nurse in Belgium. She speaks quietly, looking over her shoulder. Do you think they are fattening us before they kill us? Helga does not answer, because she has been thinking the same thing. Why else would enemies provide such comfort? December 25th, 1944. Helga has been at Fort Oglethorpe for 3 weeks. She has gained 2 kilograms. Her hands no longer shake constantly. The bleeding in her gums has stopped. But the confusion remains. Every morning she wakes expecting the food to disappear. Every morning breakfast arrives. Today is different. The guards decorate the dining hall with pine branches and red ribbons. Some of the American staff wear Santa Claus hats. Helga does not understand. This is a prison camp. These are enemies. Why are they celebrating? At noon, the women are called to the hall. They enter and stop. On every table, plates are arranged with precision. But these are not normal plates. Each one holds a full turkey leg, mashed potatoes with gravy, green beans, sweet corn, cranberry sauce, a dinner roll with butter, and a slice of apple pie. Helga stands frozen. She has never seen this much food on a single plate. Not in her entire life, not even before the war. The women sit slowly, afraid to touch anything. The same red-haired guard from before walks between tables, smiling, wishing them Merry Christmas in broken German. At the far end of the hall, American soldiers and staff sit at their own tables. They have identical plates, the same turkey, the same portions. Helga stares at the turkey leg. In Germany, turkey is peasant food, something farmers raise in dirty yards, not proper meat like beef or pork. But there is no beef in Germany anymore. There is no pork. There is barely anything. She picks up her fork, cuts a small piece. The meat is tender, soaked in rich gravy. She places it in her mouth and chews slowly. The flavor is overwhelming. Fat, protein, salt, seasoning she cannot identify. Her eyes fill with tears before she can stop them. Anneliese, sitting beside her, is crying openly. Across the table, another woman wraps her dinner roll in a napkin and hides it in her pocket. Helga understands why. They cannot believe this food is real. They cannot believe they will eat again tomorrow. An American officer stands and speaks in English. A translator repeats his words in German. Today we celebrate Christmas together. You are far from home. So are we. But today we share this meal as human beings. Helga does not understand. She is the enemy. She worked for the Luftwaffe. She helped coordinate attacks against Allied forces. Why is this man treating her with dignity? After the meal, Helga returns to her barracks and opens the small journal she has kept hidden. She writes carefully, knowing she cannot send letters yet. Mutter, I cannot tell you what I ate today. If you knew, it would break your heart. Not because I am suffering, but because I am not. Because my enemies feed me better than our own country ever could. Because the people we were told are monsters treat me with more kindness than I have known in 3 years. I do not understand this place. I do not understand these people, and I am afraid of what this means. She closes the journal and lies on her mattress, staring at the ceiling. For the first time since her capture, Helga Bauer questions everything she was told. January 1945. The Christmas decorations are removed from the dining hall, but something else arrives. Boxes. Dozens of cardboard boxes carried into the camp by American Red Cross workers and local volunteers. The guards call all the women to the main hall. Helga enters with the others, confused. The boxes are stacked against one wall, each labeled with handwritten tags. An American officer explains through a translator that these are donations, gifts from American civilians, churches, schools, women's organizations. They have sent packages for the German prisoners. Helga cannot process this information. Gifts from Americans for Germans. The guards begin distributing boxes, one to each woman. Helga receives hers and sits on a bench, holding it carefully. The cardboard is clean, not damaged. Someone has written on top in careful letters, "For a German girl with hope." She opens it slowly. Inside, there are items she has not seen in years. A bar of scented soap wrapped in paper. Chocolate, real chocolate, not the synthetic substitute made from vegetable fat. 3 pairs of wool socks. A small bag of hard candies, homemade cookies wrapped in cloth. And at the bottom, an envelope. Helga opens the envelope with trembling fingers. Inside is a handwritten letter in English. One of the other women, a teacher from Berlin who speaks English, translates, "Dear friend, I do not know your name. I do not know your story, but I know you are far from home during this difficult time. My son is fighting in Europe. I pray every night that someone, somewhere, shows him kindness if he needs it. So I send this to you, hoping that kindness exists even in war. May you find peace. May you return home safely. God bless you." The letter is signed by a woman named Margaret from a town in Arkansas. Her son is with the Third Army in France, fighting against Germany, fighting against Helga's country. And yet this woman sends gifts, sends prayers, sends hope. Helga reads the letter 3 times. She does not cry immediately. The tears come slowly, silently, as understanding settles into her bones. This woman's son might have killed Helga's father. Helga's work might have contributed to the death of this woman's son. They are enemies by every definition. And yet, Margaret from Arkansas sees her as human. Around the hall, other women open their packages. Some find hand-knitted scarves. Others receive small Bibles with pressed flowers inside. One woman receives a package from a school teacher in Ohio containing drawings made by her students. Stick figures holding hands. Messages in simple English. "We hope you are okay. Merry Christmas. From your friends in America." Annalisa sits beside Helga, holding a bar of lavender soap, sobbing into her hands. "Why?" she whispers. "Why do they treat us like this?" Helga has no answer. She looks down at the chocolate bar in her lap. In Hamburg, her brother would trade his shoes for this much chocolate. Her mother has not tasted sugar in 2 years. And here, strangers give it freely to their enemies. That night, Helga writes in her journal again, "Today I received kindness from people who have every reason to hate me. I do not understand this country. I do not understand these people. But I am beginning to understand something else. That my government lied about everything." February 1945. Helga stands on a scale in the camp medical facility. The American nurse adjusts the weight until the bar balances. 44 kilograms. She has gained 6 kilograms in 2 months. The nurse writes the number in a file and nods with satisfaction. The medical examination is thorough. They check her teeth. She has 3 cavities and signs of scurvy. The dentist, an older man from Texas, fills the cavities over 3 appointments. He uses real anesthetic. He works carefully, explaining each step through a translator. In Germany, military dentists pulled teeth without numbing because they had no supplies. Here they save them. The nurse measures Helga's height, checks her vision, listens to her heart. She diagnoses anemia and prescribes iron supplements. Helga receives a small bottle of pills and instructions to take one daily with food, as if food is guaranteed, as if tomorrow's meal is certain. Her hair has stopped falling out. The color returns to her skin. Her hands are steady. She catches her reflection in a window and barely recognizes the woman looking back. She no longer looks like a skeleton. In March, the prisoners are assigned work duties. This is expected. Helga knows prisoners must work. But the work is not punishment. They are sent to local farms and rural facilities to help with agricultural labor, repairing fences, tending livestock, preparing soil for spring planting, and assisting in canning and storage operations. American farmers pay the camp for the labor, and the prisoners receive small wages deposited into camp accounts. Helga walks into a cotton field under a clear Louisiana sky. The land stretches endlessly in every direction. She has never seen fields this large. In Germany, farms are small, divided among families for generations. Here, one man owns 1,000 acres. Then she sees the machine. A mechanical cotton picker moves slowly through the rows, metal fingers stripping cotton from plants faster than 20 people could work. The farmer operates it alone, sitting in a covered seat, protected from the sun. Helga stops walking and stares. She has never seen agricultural machinery like this. In Germany, everything is done by hand. Horses pull plows. People harvest with sickles. This machine does the work of 100 people. During lunch break, the farmer's wife brings food to the workers. Sandwiches with ham and cheese, fresh lemonade, apples. She distributes them to everyone equally. The American workers, the German prisoners, the same food, the same portions. One of the American farmhands sits beside Helga and offers her a cigarette. She accepts. He lights it for her, then lights his own. They smoke in silence, watching the mechanical picker work across the field. Helga thinks about Hamburg, about her mother carrying buckets of water up 4 flights of stairs because the pipes are destroyed, about her brother digging through rubble for coal to burn, about neighborhood women fighting over a single loaf of bread in a destroyed bakery. And here, machines do the work. Water flows from taps, food is abundant. Even prisoners eat well. That evening, back in her barracks, Helga opens her journal and writes carefully. They told us Americans were weak, that their country was collapsing, that they had no resources, no strength, no future. But I see now what strength really means. Strength is not controlling people through fear and starvation. Strength is having so much that you can feed even your enemies. Germany told us we were superior, but a superior nation does not let its people starve while fighting for survival. I was lied to. We were all lied to. May 1946. The war has been over for 1 year. Helga stands in a processing center in New York, waiting to board a transport ship back to Europe. She weighs 50 kilograms now, healthy, strong. Her uniform fits properly. Her hair is thick again. She carries a small bag containing clothes, soap, chocolate bars, and letters from American women she will never meet. The Red Cross worker stamping her documents looks at her and smiles. "Good luck in Germany, miss." Helga nods but cannot smile back, because she knows what waits for her across the ocean. The ship arrives in Hamburg 3 weeks later. Helga disembarks into a city she does not recognize. Entire neighborhoods have vanished. Buildings stand like broken teeth against gray sky. Rubble fills the streets. The air smells like ash and decay, even a year after the bombing stopped. She walks through streets where she played as a child. Nothing remains. The bakery where her mother bought bread is gone. The school where she learned to read is a crater. The church where her father's funeral was held no longer has walls. She finds her mother's building still standing. Partially. 3 of 4 walls remain. Helga climbs the stairs carefully, avoiding holes in the concrete. Her mother's apartment is on the 3rd floor. She knocks. The door opens. Her mother stands there, and Helga barely recognizes her. She has aged 20 years. Her face is skeletal. Her eyes are sunken. Her dress hangs on her frame like a sheet on bones. Her mother stares at Helga, at her healthy skin, her strong body, her clean clothes, and begins to cry. Helga's brother appears behind her mother. He is 17 now, but looks 12. His arms are thin as branches. His cheeks are hollow. He walks with a limp from a bombing injury that never healed properly. They embrace. They cry. But Helga feels something terrible growing in her chest. Guilt. Crushing, unbearable guilt. While her family starved, she ate turkey. While they slept in ruins, she slept on a mattress with clean sheets. While they dug through rubble for food, she received chocolate from strangers. Within 2 months, Helga loses 8 kilograms. The rations in Germany are barely sufficient to survive. Bread is rationed at 200 grams per person per day. Meat is almost non-existent. Her mother boils potato peels to make soup. Helga walks through Hamburg and sees children with swollen bellies from malnutrition. Old women collapsed on sidewalks. men fighting over cigarette butts. The black market thrives while the government pretends to function. She watches a group of children, none older than 10, surrounding an American soldier. He reaches into his pack and distributes chocolate bars. The children grab them desperately, shoving the chocolate into their mouths before anyone can take it away. The American soldier looks sad. One evening, Helga sits with her mother in their damaged apartment. A single candle provides light. They eat thin cabbage soup in silence. Her mother speaks quietly. "You look like you've seen something we haven't." Helga stares at the soup. She thinks about Camp Ruston, about hot showers and electric lights, about Margaret from Arkansas and her letter, about the farmer's wife bringing sandwiches to prisoners, about the dentist from Texas who saved her teeth. "I saw what our enemies are capable of," Helga says, "and it terrifies me, because they treated me with more dignity than our government ever did."